So, among the many things that feminism has done is be very successful with respect to divorce. You don't need no man. You don't need him like a fish needs a bicycle and all that other stuff, but you do need something. And so now women are married to the state, in effect. The thing is, guys, you don't get out of this contract, well, you might get out alive, but you're going to be a lot more poor because the rules are in favor of her and the children, if there's children involved. If we're just talking alimony, frankly, I think that old patriarchal concept, feminists, that patriarchal concept ought to be tossed out. Maybe, if a woman does give up her career to stay home with the kids and she doesn't work and she can't afford, to live because she doesn't have any experience in the world, she's getting minimum wage. Oh, okay, I could understand that particular situation. Until she gets back up on her feet, he should probably have to support her. But if she's had her career, the modern marriage where she's, going up the career ladder, kids are in daycare at 6 a.m, they don't see their parents again until 7 p.m. No. If she has the ability to earn money, then let her do it, especially if she's kept up with the experience as time has gone on. She hasn't been home with the kids. She hasn't been a slave in the kitchen, barefoot, pregnant, all that other horseshit that the feminists like to talk about, as if we still live in 1953. So let's talk about this man in Canada, and my goodness. I mean, it's a joke. He did not burn $1 million in cash to avoid paying child support and alimony. Even if he did, okay, it doesn't relieve him of the burden. Remember, this is a legal contract between you, she, and the government. And the government pretty much is going to take her side every single freaking time. So even if he did stack his cash up and burn it, doesn't matter. He still owes her something, right? Canadian businessman says he burned $1 million in cash. No, he didn't. And the judge knows he's lying. We all know he's full of shit. He got the money and he's stashing it somewhere. He buried it in a suitcase somewhere. Who knows? A Canadian businessman and failed mayoral candidate was thrown in jail for 30 days after telling the judge he burned $1 million in cash in 2 separate bonfires. And the reasoning he gave is to avoid paying his wife alimony and child support as part of their divorce settlement, according to a report. In an Ottawa Superior Court hearing last week, Bruce McConville, 55, told the judge he withdrew about $1 million in cash in 25 separate withdrawals from 6 separate bank accounts. He claimed he then burned the cash in 2 bonfires, $743,000 on September 23rd and $296,000 on December 15th. McConville, who ran for mayor of Ottawa in 2018, claimed to have receipts to prove he withdrew the money. He said he did not record the bonfires and no one witnessed him set the cash ablaze. The judge says, excuse me, can I back you up a bit? When you say you destroyed it, what do you mean? He replied, I burned it. Sure you did. It's not something I would normally do, McConville said, according to the Ottawa Citizen. I'm not a person that is extremely materialistic. A little goes a long way. I've always been frugal. That's why my business lasted for 31 years, end of quote. The judge says, I don't think you're honest. I find what you have done to be morally reprehensible because you claim to have done this willfully and directly to undermine the interests of your children, according to the judge. McConville said he earned the money he later burned by selling some of his properties and businesses to his former accountant, which is a direct violation of a court order not to sell his assets. He also has failed to file an affidavit disclosing his finances to the court. So the judge sentenced McConville to 30 days in jail for violating the court orders. He also ordered McConville to pay $2,000 a day to his ex-wife for every day he fails to disclose his finances to the court moving forward. Okay, we know how the game is played. We know how it's rigged in her favor. So if you sign on the dotted line, guys, and there's a divorce and children, you're going to pay. I mean, you can burn all the cash you want. You could burn your house down. You could do anything. Doesn't matter. She is still going to get it. Whether they take it out of your paycheck, whether they put you in jail, whatever, you signed the contract. And thus, you shall be screwed as a man, in general, in our court system here in the West, family court and all that other stuff. When it comes to child support, they're your children. You need to help support your children. Now, we can go on and on about the women always get... I get it. That's what I'm saying. It is rigged not in favor of you as a man. You know this stuff is going to happen if there is a divorce. You sign on the dotted line, you will pay, and you'll probably lose custody of your kids, and you're going to have to pay her alimony. I don't like it. I think it's screwed up. I think it should be changed. But it's not going to happen. Feminists have been very, very, very successful. No-fault divorce, child support, all of these things. And the reason is, and I get back to this quite often, but I truly believe it to be the case, women cannot have any consequences for the choices they make with their lives. In other words, they marry the wrong guy or they're not happy with the guy or what. Well, she should be able to get out of that with cash and prizes. And so the feminists have convinced the patriarchy to create these rules that are utterly unfair and in favor of her and her alone and the children. The man, just a wage slave to give her cash. Guys, you know this. This is the way it is. So if you sign up for a marriage contract with her and the state is always going to take her side. So don't do it. I mean, if you really, really want to have a child, you could probably pay someone to be like a surrogate. If that's really what you want, a child, you could do that. Don't sign the marriage contract. Just don't do it. There's no point. The point of marriage in the first place, back in the evil patriarchy days, it was to get access to you-know-whatski, right? Because it wasn't as free and easy it wasn't as available to average men. So you had to cough up the diamond ring and get on the knee and all this to get access to the pootie. That certainly is not the case in current year 2020, is it? Think. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.